opportunity to collaborate with international Nigeria section student branch. So we are happy to give in this opportunity. Today we have eminent speaker from Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering Technology, Dr. Gopsetti Manikanta sir. So he want to deliver a topic on electric vehicles towards the theme of the PESDAY. So hearty welcome sir. Please carry on sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, my slides are visible now.
No, sir, it is not.
No sir.
Yeah, now.
No.
No, sir.
Yes sir, visible. Now visible.
It's visible, right,
Yeah,
sir?
it's visible now.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it full screen sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just give me a second. Yes. Now, sir.
No sir. Make it to full screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's in full screen mode only. Still, sir. Still, our screen is not visible. I'm shared this.
It is visible, sir.
Yeah.
My slides. My slides. Just now I
Yes, sir.
kept it in full screen mode, right? No.
No sir.
One second. One second. One more. Yeah. If your PPT is in this mode, full screen mode, slideshare mode, if it's
Yeah.
visible, just tell me
Perfect.
so that I
Perfect.
start.
Carry on
Yeah,
sir.
it's visible, right, sir?
Yeah, visible.
Yeah. Thank you, one and all. For that was a great introduction, Madeline. Thank you so much. First and foremost thing, I just want to thank IEEE Swarnandhra student branch and IEEE FUTSO for inviting me as a resource person for this session. Thank you, one and all. So before starting this presentation, as you all know, that electric vehicles is one of the most interesting areas of research. Being a researcher and being an budding engineer, you're supposed to know this topic because this is the future. In short, we call it as this is the future electric vehicles. So why? The first question comes to my mind is if I talk about electric vehicles, what is electric vehicle? Why we are going for electric vehicles? And what are the advantages? If previously we are using it, currently also we are using this IC engines, right? Internal combustion engines we are using. So why we are opting towards electric vehicles? So the topic of presentation as empowering electric mobility innovation has given me this topic. So electric vehicles as climate solution. So one of the best solution if we use electric vehicles is that it will reduce the noise and also the pollution. So these are the two major impacts which has created with respect to these electrical vehicles. So myself, Dr. Manikanta, I am assistant professor from Department of EEE, Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore, India. So these are the contents of my presentation. Initially, I start with as you are budding engineers. So when your resource person approached me, I asked whether this is for students or for researchers. They told that this is completely towards students, so I make this presentation in a student's perspective. So this is in short. I will give a brief about EV, after that history behind EV and what are the types we are using, and after that what are the environmental impacts it may create with respect to the current scenario. You may see that first five of contents obviously focuses all about EVs. But if you see the sixth one, global CO2 emission, the main impact of this global CO2 emission is that, as my title spokes, electrical vehicles as climatic solution. So that's why I included this. So it's just a brief about in world what is the CO2 emission which is happening if we implement electric vehicles. What are the outcomes? And after that, the next is all about benefits of EV with respect to environment, and I will conclude the session. So first and foremost, I just want to give a small introduction about EV. So as you all know that electric vehicles, in short, we call it as EVs. These are mainly operates on electric motors, right? So in the name itself, it is indicating electric vehicles. So obviously, it will operate on electric motors. So if these are operating on electric motors, when these internal combustion engines, if we talk about normal cars which are working on ICE, what they will do, they will burn the mix of fuels and then they will generate the power. Whereas in case of electric vehicles, through batteries, they will work and they will generate, they will take the supply from the batteries and it will directly transfer to these electric motors. So in future, we may see there is a possibility that electric vehicles can be replacement of this current generation automobiles. So if we see why we are opting more for electric vehicles, normally the first and foremost thing is that it will produce instant torque and smooth acceleration. That's the main advantage if we use electric vehicles. What happens is that it will produce that instant and smooth acceleration. And one more is that this has been inspired by road going automobiles which has been powered with respect to the electricity. And next is that plug-in electric vehicles. So if we talk about plug-in electric vehicles in types of EVs, I will discuss in brief about these plug-in electric vehicles. These plug-in electric vehicles are normally fast and efficient, and as compared with other vehicles, this maintenance is cheaper and simple. So these are the basic
Okay.
vehicles. So if we see the history of these electric vehicles, normally electric vehicles, this electric vehicle, or we call it as electric vehicle, it got boom in 2010 or 2005. From there it got boom. But previously, in 1837 in Scotland, Robert Davidson is the first one who made this electric vehicle. So it took 4 years for him. 1841 he built that electric train car. After that, it took 40 years in London, England. Thomas Parker is the one who kept this manufacturing of electric automobiles, which has been established in London. After this, in 1890s, the first electric car has been produced by William Morrison by USA. Normally, this car has a six-seater capacity with a top speed of 14 miles per hour. So this is just a brief about the history of EVs. Majority of people thinks that EV recently they have this is just a recent topic, but previously the EV has been done past, that is 1800s, 1830s. This has been doing. So we are talking about EVs, right? Electric vehicles. So how they will operate? Obviously, they operate with respect to batteries. So if we talk about EVs, especially battery management plays a key role in EVs. So if we talk about batteries, first in 1830s, where this Robert has established his this electric train or invented this electric train, those are non-rechargeable batteries. At that time, they are supposed to use this non-rechargeable batteries at a late 1830s. After that, in 1860s, they used these, they interchanged these non-rechargeable batteries towards these uh, chargeable batteries. And after that, in 1990s, in recent trends, also in current scenario, we are using these lithium ion batteries. This is all about what type of batteries previously has been used and what type of batteries currently we are using with respect to electric vehicles. So this comes the ecosystem of AV. So if you talk about electric vehicles, some are key players and some are major trends. So what are the trends we are supposed to follow and who are the key players in this EV, electric vehicle ecosystem? So first and foremost thing, if you talk about key system players with respect to this ecosystem of electric vehicles, first key player was that obviously consumers. So with respect to the consumers, if you see the first key player was consumers. Obviously, why? because with respect to the consumers, the growth will go. And next is the data flow, finance, and insurance. These all comes under at one perspective where you're supposed to know. Obviously, some governments are giving policies with respect to finance and insurance. And here comes the tech and R&D, research and development. Some of when some first thing comes to my mind is that why R&D is a key system player for this EV environment. First and foremost thing you're supposed to know is that if R&D doesn't go well, if your research and development doesn't go well, obviously what happens is that it will create or else the growth of the system. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible,
I'm
audible.
audible,
You
right?
can
Yeah,
continue.
yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So the growth of the system, or else the growth of, let us suppose if you're considering a company, the growth of it doesn't go well. So that's why one of the key system players for this ecosystem is R&D. And next comes the climate change. Let us suppose that if I'm building an electric vehicle at a specific point of time, the same vehicle will be transferred, or else the other person from the other area will come and he can buy, right? So we don't know what type of climate it may adopt to. So climate change also is one of the important system player. And last but not least, policies. What normally these central governments and state governments are offering now n number of policies, n number of policies for the consumers to increase the this electric vehicle system. This is all about key system players with respect to this ecosystem. And there comes the major trends. First trend is all about lithium ion battery. As we all know that if you heard about electric vehicle, first thing comes to my mind is the battery management system. Without battery management system, how your system will work, right? Obviously battery management system is one of the important key factor in electric vehicles, which plays an important role. As we are using these lithium ion batteries, these are chargeable. So these are connected to this, either we can connect it to this renewable power or else smart grid and grid storages, which where we will collect the power for this charging of batteries. And if you see this smart charging, vehicle to grid and building vehicle interaction, B2B we call it as building vehicle interaction, vehicle to grid or building to interaction. So these three are important factors with respect to the major trend. Normally in current scenario, fast charging, we call it as smart charging. N number of researchers are going in this one, because let us suppose that if you're traveling from point A to point B, you're supposed to know at which place this charging station is. If the charging station is there, if I went inside, how much time my vehicle will take? Obviously, right, we didn't have all day to keep our vehicle in the charging station. So smart charging or fast charging plays an important role. This is one of the hot areas of research in current trends of electric vehicles. And the last one is all about how the system plays in this ecosystem. Normally electricity, information, and money, these three are one of the important key factors. If you have observed this bidirectional, it is information to electricity or electricity to money. This is bidirectional data flow will occur in this one. So this is all about ecosystem of your electric vehicle. So there comes types of electric vehicles. If you talk about types of electric vehicle, first and foremost thing comes to my mind is that battery electric vehicle. In battery electric vehicle, in this diagram, if you observe this diagram, what is happening? Obviously we know that if I talk about electric vehicle, what it will do, electric vehicle takes supply from batteries and it will give to your electric motors, which is connected to your wheels, right? So obviously this is what happening. But if you have observed this, these battery electric vehicles take supply. These are rechargeable batteries. If you see this, in case of battery electric vehicles, normally these are rechargeable batteries where they will use. And the other name for this battery electric vehicles are that all electric vehicles, AEVs. In short, we call this as AEVs. So this is all about battery electric vehicles. And next comes hybrid electric vehicles. Normally this hybrid electric vehicles, same diagram, it is similar to your battery electric vehicle. But in case of battery electric vehicle, what is difference we have observed. In case of battery electric vehicle, there is a battery and an electric motor which is directly connected to your wheels, right? But here what happens in case of hybrid, it is mixture of both. It's mixture of both in the sense is that it will work with the fossil fuels and also instantly it can work with battery. So that's why we call it as hybrid system. But the main drawback is that in previous diagram and this diagram, here they are not using any rechargeable batteries. Once your battery is charged, they will keep. Once your fuel is out, what this battery will do, this battery will supply power to your electric motor, so your electric motor starts rotating and that will give supply to your engine. So this is what it happens in case of electric vehicles. Similarly, if we talk about plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, previously when we have seen it in introduction, I told that plug-in electric vehicles are smart, easy, and cheaper. Maintenance is also very easy. So if you have observed this, what they are using rechargeable batteries. So normally in present scenario, they are using rechargeable batteries. So plug-in vehicle, hybrid electric vehicles are playing an important role. So what happens is that these are also known as series hybrids. Series hybrids in the sense you can give fuel to your engine directly, or else in parallel you can give supply to your battery where the electric motor starts rotating. This is what it happens. As these batteries are chargeable, what they will do, they will directly charge from externally. This is all about these three. Next comes what are the factors which attracts EVs. Previously we have discussed about ecosystem, after the different types of EVs. Why majority of people are opting for EV, or else we can, in short we can say that what are the factors which attracts the consumers to go for EVs. So first is that urbanization. As you all know that if you are talking about urbanization, in especially in cities, we are not supposed to go travel to long distances, right? Obviously, if I want to go from one point to point B, it will be shorter, not more than longer. I won't travel 40 kilometers, 30 kilometers. It's around 15 to 20 kilometers. I am talking about these metropolitan cities. Let us suppose that if I use these ICE engines, what happens in metropolitan cities, because of this hectic traffic, what you will do, you will continuously switch on the engine and off the engine, on the engine, off the engine. What it will create is that pollution, noise, everything is creating. Because of this is one of the important factor how why people are attracted more towards EV is that the urbanization. And the second one is that regulation and policy, regulation of pollution and consumption. I just want to give one example with respect to regulation of pollution. I don't know whether you know it or not. In India, Delhi, one rule is there. Previously, 4 years back or 5 years back, there is a rule in the capital city. What they kept was that odd and even numbers of Delhi. In order to control this pollution in the capital city, what they kept was that what they observed, because the pollution is mainly occurring because of these vehicles, IC engines. No one stops. If I say you don't use a vehicle, no one listens, right? So in order to stop that, what they kept was that even number and odd number. So that is even number and odd number in the sense is that last number. If the number is two, it will be even. It has to be run on roads on the specific days. In a week they will give these some days, on the days only those number plates or even numbers are supposed to be rotated. So and this is one of the important factors. So that's why because of these kind of regulations with respect to CO2 emission, so people are attracted more towards. And this the last one, growing prevalence of charging stations as compared with previous 10 years or 15 years. If you have observed at your surroundings, the number of charging stations or availability of charging stations are increasing, right? Obviously availability of charging stations are increasing day by day. So this is one of the key factors. So these three key factors plays an important role why consumer is attracted towards EV. So next is all about usage of EV. So this is just an analysis across the world. I just want to show you. See here, normally if you have seen this diagram, top selling, I'm talking about plug-in electric vehicles. Previously in introduction I spoke about plug-in electric vehicles. That's why with respect to global market, some data I took. if you have observed this data, these main vehicles with respect to cumulative sales, they have given cumulative sales. These who is on the top? China. China has giving. China is the one who is at the top in selling these light plug-in electric vehicles. After that, followed by Europe, USA, and Germany. Similarly, if you have observed this with respect to per capital income, per capita income, here also China is at the top with respect to other countries like US, Europe, and Germany. So this is all about overall usage by different countries across the world. And my slide is changing. Sorry. Yes. It's changing, right?
No, usage of EV. Yeah, changing.
Environmental impact.
Yes, yes, exactly. Continue.
Ah, yeah. So see here, if you talk about environmental impact, first and foremost thing, this is completely related to the today's presentation. It's all about EV as climatic solution, right? We spoke about the first thing. If I talk about environmental impact, if I see IC engines and these EVs, first and foremost thing comes to my mind is that EV, IC engines. First, we talk about IC engine, this internal combustion engine vehicles, and also after that we'll talk about electric vehicles. So see here, obviously these internal combustion engines mainly work on the fuels, fossil fuels, right? To where they will use these fossil fuels to burn and they will generate energy. If you have observed these fossil fuels, they are creating so much of pollution. To take that fossil fuel, for transferring that fossil fuel from point one to B, point one to point B. After that, again, these IC combustion engines will go and they will get this. So again, when these IC engine vehicles are roaming from one point to another point, again they are creating so much of pollution, or we call it as CO2 emission. These emissions are called it as well to wheel. We call it as well to wheel emission or upstream emissions. So from starting, before starting the vehicle, the fuels, in order to take those fuels, so what we are doing, we are creating so much of pollution. When the fuel has been transferred from point A to B and it comes to the consumer, again consumer is creating so much of pollution. So this creates so much of pollution with respect to IC engines. So the question comes is that whether EVs, these electric vehicles, are creating pollution or not. Obviously, in order to make the batteries, normally EVs mainly work on batteries, right? In order to make batteries, they are also creating so much of pollution. We call that as well-to-wheel emission. So at the time of production, this is restricted to time of production. Once the production process is over, once you manufacture the battery and it is transferred to the consumer, it's a clean and green. We call it as clean and green service. So the vehicle starts moving around the point from A to B. It won't create any pollution. But you are supposed to observe one point in case of IC engines, what is happening from before the vehicle starts. In order to get these fossil fuels, from fossil fuels, it is creating pollution. When the fossil fuels or some fuels comes to the vehicle, again vehicle is creating some more pollution. But in case of EVs, this is not happening. The main pollution it is creating is that EV batteries, but governments are creating so much of policies to reduce this upstream emission. In future, you will see the upstream emission will be low. See, this is the environmental impact with respect to EVs and ICEs. So if you have observed global CO2 emission, so this is the index of overall. So 37.15 billion tons in 2022. If you have observed that global CO2 from fossil fuels and industries, if you talk about fossil fuels and industries, is 37.1, and in 2023 it has reached 1.1% extra, which is nothing but 37.55. Okay, so but in case of, if you have compared the previous data, so if you have observed this data. If you have observed this data, it is 60% in 1990s. Obviously, as compared to 1990s, in present scenario, the global emission is very high. 60% increase we have observed. So who are creating, if you have observed this, what are the countries who are creating more CO2 emission? With respect to this graph shows what are the countries which are creating more global emission, and this is the annual emission with respect to regions. This is China. Like that, with respect to different regions, I have taken one data from this. So this is all about global region. So first and foremost thing, if you're talking about global CO2 emission, first thing comes to my mind is that pollution. So specifically kept this in my slide, air quality index. I don't know some people knows air quality index or not. So in some countries, especially in India, some metropolitan cities, if you talk about Noida, air quality.
So we cannot hear you anymore, sir.
Sir, Manikanta sir, your voice is not audible.
Yes, it's not audible. Yes. Come
Yeah,
in
take
again.
aside some technical issue, I think so.
All right, no problem. So I believe we just lost him for a moment. So let's just wait a
Yeah,
little
network
while.
disconnected. Wait for 2 minutes. He's going to join. Manikanta sir, sir, please continue, sir. Share your screen.
All right, I believe.
Sir, voice is not audible. Sir, your voice is not audible.
So now I'm audible.
Yeah, now perfect.
Yes, yes, sir.
Now audible, right? Yes, yes. So how I will start from point one. So how EVs are better
Share
for
your screen, sir.
environment?
Please share your screen.
It shares already. I'm sharing
No,
my
no,
screen.
it was
No.
disconnected.
Okay, okay. 1 second, sir. 1 second.
Yeah. Very bad. So, no.
No, not yet. Not yet.
డాడీ ప్లస్ లో ఎడిటివ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్ తీసుకోవాలా ప్లస్ లో ఎడిటివ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్ తీసుకోవాలా
బ్రాకెట్స్
బ్రాకెట్ లో
ఇది -4 ప్లస్ స్క్వేర్ బ్రాకెట్ ప్లస్ మైనస్. సో 15 ప్లస్ ఆఫ్ -3 అంటే ప్లస్ ఇంటూ మైనస్
ప్లస్
-4 ప్లస్
మైనస్ మైనస్ మైనస్
15 -3 ఓకే. సో -4 ప్లస్ 15 -3 ఎంత 12. సో -4 ప్లస్ 12
నేను చేస్తా
I'm sorry, but we cannot hear you, sir. We cannot hear you at all.
డాడీ చేస్తుండా డాడీ టేప్
లేదు
మామూలు టేప్
లేదు వెళ్ళు వెళ్ళు నువ్వు అక్కడికి వెళ్ళు నువ్వు కాదు వెళ్ళు వెళ్ళు
తిరిగింది
సార్ యువర్ వాయిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఆడిబుల్.
So please check now.
It's okay, sir. It's okay.
It's okay, right, sir?
Yeah,
So
please
we
share
share
your
the
screen and
screen.
continue, sir.
So see this. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, visible.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Continues.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see here. For this comes, if you talk about EVs are better for environment. First comes is that it will produce zero tailpipe emission. What is this tailpipe emission? In case of IC engines, what you will do, you will turn on the igniter, right? So normally, if you turn on the vehicle, what happens? Obviously, smoke will come from the tailpipe. Whereas in case of electric vehicles, it will produce zero emission. So that's a major major advantage which we are giving to this one. And second comes is that even when using fossil fuels, EV contributes fewer emission than IC engines. So this point mainly comes is that, see here, why fossil fuels? In order to make these batteries, obviously I told that upstream emission. Upstream emission has been happening in electric vehicles also, but before coming on road, it is happening. When the vehicle is on road, the emission produced by the system is zero. But in case of ICE vehicles, what happens? The emission is more. So that is one more parameter. And EV battery production can be increased. So this main parameter was that because of government regulations, it is decreasing. So that's why EV battery production is increasing. And the next is that
Plus
if you
20.
talk about ICE vehicles, that internal combustion engine vehicles, they pollute continuously. Before starting the vehicle, it is supposed to get some fossil fuels. These fossil fuels are getting are transferred from point A, because they will dig, they will take, it will create some environment or pollute the environment. And next is that EV manufacturers normally in current scenario they are using friendly material, eco-friendly material which are reusable. So this is one of the better EV what we call.
Sorry, sir, but you're not audible anymore, sir. Alright, I believe we lost him again. His network issue. Let me just wait again.
Again disconnected. Think the speaker and there is a communication disturbance. Sir, voice is not audible. No, sir. Your voice is not audible. No, sir. Please check your audio settings, sir. Manikanta, sir, please check your audio. You are not audible.
Now sir, I muted it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
muted.
okay, sir. Now it's okay.
Now it's okay, right,
Please,
sir?
please share
So
your screen.
anyway, it won't take. Yes, it won't take much time. So we came to. Next we talk about low maintenance cost. Normally, electric vehicle maintenance
Sir,
cost will be
share
low.
your screen,
Everyone
sir.
knows that, but
Share your
sir,
screen.
I shared it already.
No,
I
no,
shared it.
no,
No.
sir.
One second.
It's not visible, sir. Please check one second.
Yes. Now, sir. Yes, sir. Now.
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Okay. So normally, the if you talk about benefits of electric vehicles, first is that the lower running cost. Normally, previously I discussed about this how the cost of EV initially initial investment may be high, but once you are running your vehicle continuously, the operating cost or the running cost will be less. Next is that after running cost, obviously we'll see for the maintenance cost, right? The maintenance cost or else the moving internal combustion engine vehicle are very less as compared with this ICE. So this creates low maintenance cost as compared with these ICE engines. And next is that zero tailpipe emission. This point I have discussed previously. Zero tailpipe line emission in the sense. Let us suppose that if for ICE vehicles, if you turn on, what happens? Obviously, from this tailpipe, the emission will come. This CO2 or this pollution will come through the tailpipe emission. But in case of electric vehicle, that is zero. That is the one of the best advantage, and why
Sir, sorry to disturb you.
majority. Yes, sir.
Manikanta, sir, your screen not
Yes,
share.
sir.
Your screen is
Not
not visible,
shared.
sir.
No, sir. Not shared.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
One
Continue.
second, sir. One
Sorry
second.
for the disturbance.
No, sir. No problem. Because of the internet, maybe. Now, sir. Now my screen is visible.
Yes, visible, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, I shared the screen, right? PPT is also changing, right?
No, sir.
No, PPT is not changing.
No, sir.
Showing for me, it's showing that it's changing.
Water bags వస్తాం.
All right. While we wait for the the presenter to be back, I would like to, if you have any questions concerning what we talked about so far, you can just wait on to the end of the lecture and then you can ask them. You just unmute your mic and ask them. I'll bring out time for that. So if you have any questions, you can just write them down and wait.
నాకు ఇది పౌచ్ నచ్చలేదు మార్చేస్తాను ఆ పౌచ్ నచ్చలేదు చూసుకో
Sir, your voice not audible. No, sir, not audible.
Sir, check it now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's okay.
yes, yes, sir, yes, sir,
Now it's okay.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
So anyway, we came to end. Just
okay.
give me five more minutes. We'll conclude. So my screen is visible, right? Now
Yes, sir.
I'm presenting. Yes. So now it's visible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Slides are visible. I'm audible. Yeah.
Yeah, good,
So
good.
see, we talk about zero tail pipeline. This is mainly in case of IC electric IC engines.
Shano.
IC engines. What happens was that the emission is high, whereas in case of electric vehicles we didn't have any emission through that tailpipe. This is all about zero tailpipe line emission. And next is that tax and financial benefits. Normally, with respect to government policies, government is giving so many policies on registration fees and road taxes with respect, if you purchase an electric vehicle as compared with these petrol or diesel vehicles, they are giving so many benefits to attract more and more consumers. So this is one more important benefit, we call it as, with respect to EV vehicles. And next, the best major advantage I say that is that these electric vehicles are easy to drive, very easy to drive, because they are gearless. And if they didn't, as they didn't have any gears, they are very convenient to drive and accelerate, brake and stress, these things we can do it very easily. And next, see here, charging at home, because if I want to charge my system, I can charge it. Let us suppose that if I'm traveling from point A to point B, I know that it will show what is the time period, or else at what time the battery percentage is. These things it can show, so that I can keep the charging point at my home. So, and one more advantage is that noise pollution is very less compared with other these internal combustion engine vehicles. The noise produced by these electric vehicles are very low. So we call, that's why if you have observed these vehicles, like now smart vehicles, we call it as electric vehicles, Ola or some other vehicles, currently many are using, what they will do is that they have given one music system. Even that music system, the sound will appear to a specific surrounding, because electric vehicle will create very low noise. This will create other person but don't know whether the vehicle is coming or not. So in order to overcome this, what they have done is that they have given a specific range. If you turn on the vehicle, if you turn on the music system, within that range only the people will listen. Other than that, it's not audible. Okay, so this is what all about. And last but not least, managing electric vehicles at your feet. First comes is that state of charge. If we talk about state of charge, how your electric vehicle is charging, this state of charge plays an important role in battery management system. So state of charge, or else what we call it as battery health monitoring, you can do it directly, or else when you are traveling from point A to point B, EV charging station maps also you can do. And in daily wages you can see the efficiency and charging reports of your vehicle. So these are the things. By using different apps you can, if you use vehicles, they will use different with respect to their system, they will provide these data, so that you can see and you can monitor the system very easily. So this is these are some diagrams I kept for this information. So see here, first is all about charging. Next is that you will see the charging information through the tab. I told you, right? If you see through the tab, you can see. So this is one more last slide. Lot I know. See here, normally this is in 2021. This is the global total. Okay, created, and in 2020 this is 10.8. So within an year 7 million vehicles are increased as compare 1 year. Just imagine in 23 and 24, or 24 and 25, how peak it may go to. If you have observed this 20 in 2019, this is very low. In 2020 it has increased, but here if you have observed that there is a spike increase
Measures to
in
properly
electric vehicles
identify properly
sales.
right to
Okay,
identity right to
so plug-in electric vehicles PLE
cognitive
sales we call it as.
right to
So with this, with respect to 2020, this is purchased and these are the vehicles getting sold. So in the end of the session, if we, by seeing these benefits and what are the impact these electric vehicles create to that environment, I strongly believe that these electric vehicles are plays an important role in the climate solution. Thank you one and all. Any queries or any questions, or else you can contact me. I have given my mail ID and my contact number and my LinkedIn profile. If you have any query, or if you want to collaborate and work, no problem, you can do it. Thank you one and all.
the participants. If you
All
have any
right.
queries,
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, sir. So if anyone has, does anyone have any questions, can just raise, just click the raise hand button there beside you.
So anything from my end?
any questions,
All right.
participants?
No, 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 sir.
Yeah. Before closing the session, please switch on your camera so that we can capture one moment. Everyone, please switch on your camera so that we can take a group photo. Yeah, please share. Please switch on your camera, participants. At a count of five, four, three, two, one. Thank you. Thank
Thank you one and all. That was. I would like to thank again for IEEE Swarnandhra Student Branch Group and IEEE FUSO SB Student Branch Group. Thank you. Thank you one and all. So can
Well,
I
I
leave the
believe
session?
someone, someone has a question.
Yeah.
Manuel, can you raise up your hand? Do you have a question?
Yes,
Can
sir. I have a question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, sir. So, firstly, thank you so much for that beautiful session, sir. So,
Thank you, thank
my
you.
question borders about how do you think artificial intelligence can actually